just something with the way that like my brain works or whatever, but I I will fall very, I will get like very energized when I am starting something new, but then that interest, it can very quickly die out, and I've had to just kind of wait for that interest to bubble back up again. Um, but I'm back for I don't know how long. Maybe I'm gonna disappear for a year again. Who knows? Um, but I'm doing an ASMR video in which I will be talking to you guys about some books that I have bought over the past, like, since May-ish. Um, Spoiler, well, okay, not spoiler, disclaimer. I have not read but two of these books, and I've started a third. Well, yeah, and I've started a third, but I have not read all of these at all, or even started all of them. So for the ones that I have not started, I am just going to read to you guys the little back section of what it says. But before that, let me light some candles. I figured the sound of the lighter would be some pretty good ASMR. But I exactitude and clarity. I love that word, exactitude. The original intent of The Stranger is made more immediate. This haunting novel has been given a new life for generations to come. I really enjoyed reading this book as much as the main character kind of infuriated me at times, with his lackadaisical attitude. Um, I found it quite interesting. It takes place in, like the back said, in Algeria, in French-occupied Algeria. So while Algeria was still a French colony, and they the whole imperialism gambit. So it's got a lot of French kind of cultural stuff. I don't really know. It's got a little bit. It's got some French influence just due to like the colonialism, but the main character himself is not a man that necessarily is a victim of colonialism. He's just a French guy, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, I thought that was a very interesting book when I read it. It apparently winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. He was Camus was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1957. So yeah, and like it said, the published in English verse in 1946, so at the end of World War II, so that's, quite a many decades ago at this point, but I still found it a very intriguing book. So now I'm going to talk about the second book in this stack that I actually finished and loved. My best friend has also read this book, and their opinion on it's a little different than mine. I don't know if I'm just not as critical of the people that I read in these books yet, or like of the characters themselves, not of like the authors and the book itself, but of the characters within them, especially the main characters. But this is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh, if that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'm so sorry. I bought this book, I think, when I was a teenager, so a couple years ago. I saw it at Barnes & Noble, where I bought most of my books. Well, that's not true. I bought the other ones at other places. But The Stranger and this book I bought at separate times, at the same store. So I'm going to read the back again. I'm gonna read it. It says, a New York Times book review, notable book of the year. The shocking and strangely tender story of a young woman's efforts to duck the ills of the world with the help of one of the worst psychiatrists in the annals of literature. Our narrator should be happy, shouldn't she? She's young, thin, pretty, a recent Columbia graduate, works an easy job at a hip art gallery, lives in an apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, paid for, like the rest of her needs, by her inheritance. But there is a hole in her heart, and it isn't just the loss of her parents, or the way her Wall Street boyfriend treats her, or her sadomasochistic relationship with that's the book title. Again, read it in high school. It's been quite a while. Quite a while. It's been a couple years. But long enough for me to forget, I guess. But I really enjoyed this book. The vibe of the protagonist is kind of similar to The Stranger, because sometimes you just read it and you're like, girl, you gotta get up. Like, you gotta fight for yourself. You gotta do something. But at the same time, she does a lot of things that are quite unlikable. And so, on one hand, I feel like you are rooting for her to accomplish what she wants to accomplish in the book, which is having a year of rest and relaxation. But the way that she goes about that, fueled by drugs and everything, is pretty insane. But it's very interesting to read. And I mean, when I was a teenager, when I was like 14 years old, I used to be like, wow, I'm so exhausted and I'm done with the world. I wish I could just sleep all my problems away. And so, and I had that idea before I knew this book even existed. So, to kind of read a book where that sort of idea of what if I just sleep all my problems away and then come out an entirely different person, to see that play out, is really interesting. But sorry, it's like 3 a.m. right now. Poised between youthful admiration and adult resignation, Fournier's unbearably moving portrayal of vanished adolescence was published a year before he was killed in the First World War. I've never actually read the back of this book, so maybe I did get it from some YouTube video, but I'm sorry, I don't remember which one. I also have this book that it's unlike all of the other ones because it's kind of a bit more scientific, and it's got some diagrams in it, like this diagram of the brain, and apparently a bunch of photos of Obama turned in, oh, yeah, a bunch of photos of Obama, and it's called Subliminal: How Your Unconscious Mind Rules Your Behavior by Leonard Mlodinow. And I liked it because there's little, I don't know if you can see them. You can see them kind of, like those little, right here, these words, there's little like subliminal messages. It says, psst, hey there, yes, you, sexy, buy this book, now, you know you want it. And on the spine it says bye bye bye, and on the back it also just says bye bye bye. You can see it when I do it like that. It just says bye 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 with exclamation points. So maybe I fell victim to subliminal messaging, but I think that's part of the fun, you know. Let me read the back of it, I guess, and not just move on. It says, over the past 2 decades of neurological research, it has become increasingly clear that the way we experience the world, our perception, behavior, memory, and social judgment, is largely driven by the mind's subliminal processes and not by the conscious ones as we have long believed. As in the best-selling The Drunkard's Walk, How Randomness Rules Our Lives, Mlodinow, the author, employs his signature captivating, accessible explanations to unravel the complexities of the subliminal mind. In the process, he shows the many ways it influences how we misperceive our relationships with family, friends, and business associates, how we misunderstand the reasons for our investment decisions, and how we misremember important events, along the way, changing our view of ourselves and the world around us. Sounds really interesting, and again, I've barely even started it. This is like 5 pages in. But anyways, the last book, it's called Other Women by Nicola May Goldberg. I just saw this book at my local bookstore in New York, and I don't know, just this image of this woman